The summit may be in Alaska, but the Western media is talking about Yalta. They're comparing tomorrow's summit to the famous 1945 conference, or should I say infamous. Yalta was widely seen as a failure. It was attended by the victors of the Second World War. Their goal was to create lasting peace, but the outcome was the opposite. Yalta redrew national boundaries. It carved up spheres of influence, and that too without the affected countries at the table. Basically, it was hegemonic diplomacy. Why is Alaska being compared to that, and is the comparison warranted? Our next report tells you.
Will Alaska 2025 be a repeat of Yalta 1945? Many Western newspapers have drawn this parallel. They have dusted off their old, Cold War-style hysteria. But is there truth in this comparison? Yalta is a coastal city on the Crimean Peninsula. In 1945, after the Second World War ended in Europe, this city hosted a historic meeting. In attendance were the big three leaders: US President Franklin Roosevelt, British Prime Minister Winston Churchill, and Soviet leader Joseph Stalin. They represented the three countries that won the war. Their goal in Yalta? To carve up the war-torn world. Borders and frontiers were redrawn at that meeting. The Soviets would retain influence over Eastern Europe. They would also be granted parts of Manchuria, a region that combined pockets of China and Russia. This meeting happened 8 decades ago. So why the comparison to Alaska 2025? Because there are fears of territorial concessions. Donald Trump has suggested that Ukraine and Russia will have to swap lands. But Ukraine will not be represented in Alaska. That's where the comparison stems from. Western analysts fear that Trump and Putin will carve up Ukraine. That too, without any Ukrainian at the table. The same thing happened at Yalta too. Decisions were taken about Poland, Eastern Europe, and China. But those countries were not at the table. If that does happen in Alaska, the comparison would be warranted. But right now, it's far-fetched. And there are 4 reasons why. Number 1. Yalta was a post-war conference. It happened once the outcome of the fighting in Europe was clear. In Alaska, it's the opposite. Friday's summit is aimed at ending the war. Number 2. The world has changed a lot since 1945. Yalta preceded the United Nations. It was held during a period of global turmoil and upheaval. 2025 is not that. Number 3. Yalta dealt with multiple countries. It had to settle the question of post-war Germany. It had to decide the future of Poland and Eastern Europe. Again, Alaska is different. This summit is focused solely on one country, and that's Ukraine. And finally, reason number 4. Yalta was a conference of allies. In 1945, the US, Britain, and the Soviets were fighting together. In 2025, the US and Russia are not allies. Even a volatile leader like Trump understands that. So the chances of Alaska becoming a Yalta are slim. But the commentary around it is worrying. Along with Yalta, analysts have compared Alaska to other 20th century summits too. Like Munich 1938, where Britain tried to appease Hitler. Or Potsdam 1945, where Europe's borders were redrawn. All these summits led to grave political errors. They unleashed decades of Cold War rivalry between the US and the Soviets. So comparing them to Alaska is a defeatist approach. Any attempt to end the Ukraine war must be welcomed. But unless all the stakeholders talk, there can be no negotiated settlement. And outdated comparisons do not help.